Would you like to get a live numerology reading today?
On today's show, we're going to be with Master Numerology, Darius Oliver.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Divine Numerology. We are your hosts. I'm Dr. Aaron Garcia.
And I'm Veronica Mendez Garcia. And today we're going to be doing personal readings.
Ooh, personal readings. So if you've been joining with us here on the show, we've been educating all of you guys on how to use our numbers in our life, in our names, in our birthdays, and to understand more about who we are, what our strengths are, what our weaknesses are, and how we can use these numbers to guide us in our life. Before we get into our readings for today and we bring on our co-host, we always like to start off with a personal reading with Veronica.
So I'm going to do a card reading today, and it's by Archangel Michael. It's I've used this before, but there's the picture. And the card that I chose today that just came out it says, the situation is already resolved. And it says, this card comes to you as reassurance that the situation you're inquiring about is happily concluded. The angels have been working behind the scenes to heal the source of your concerns. Although you may not yet see how the issue has been resolved, trust that it has. Let go of worries and relax with the certainty that all is well. So possible meanings is there's nothing to worry about. Everything will turn out fine. This relationship is worth saving. Stay in your current situation as the problems will soon be resolved. And then the prayer that goes with it says, I give any worries, cares, and concerns to you in exchange for true peace in all ways. Thank you for resolving this. And then you state whatever the situation is in a divinely perfect way.
I like that. You know, we've used that a lot in our life of whenever we get caught up with a challenge, is looking at it, it's resolved already. In some point, it's already happened. And when we come to that realization, we feel better about the situation, or at least it helps in the situation to realize that it's going to resolve itself in some way. And eventually it does resolve itself. You know, that's just the law of rhythm. Everything will eventually, go back into its natural order. Just like the sun will always come back and shine again, the moon will come up in the night, the tide will come back in, and everything is always an ebb and flow in our life. And when we realize that it is resolved, and we give it to a higher power.
And then the way I see it, it's like things happen for a reason, and there's always something, even if it appears like a not so good situation, there's always something to learn from it.
Absolutely. So we hope you guys enjoyed the reading for today. And if you like that, give us some hearts, give us some likes here in the feed. We are live here on Facebook and on YouTube. If you guys would like to join us each week here on Numerology, we are live every Thursdays at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern. You can turn on the live notification button here in the feed on Facebook. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click that little bell icon so you never miss an episode of Divine Numerology. So with no further ado, let's bring on our special co-host and expert numerologist, Darius Oliver.
Hey, Darius.
Hello. Hey, good morning. Good morning.
Good
Good
morning.
to see you guys.
You too.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, thank you for
Thanks
joining
for having
us.
me on the show. Yes. Yes.
Absolutely. So over the last few episodes that we've done with you, Darius, we've been just educating people, in how they can calculate their own numbers, whether it's in what does their name represent, what is their life path coming from their birthday numbers. We've gone over a lot of things. And if you guys haven't seen those episodes, make sure you go back and watch those replays because we give you a lot of information. But today we started to do something different, where for those of you who've been following with us, you want to know, like, what does my numbers represent? What is my life all about? And we're going to do that here with you guys today.
Excellent. Excellent. Hey, before I go into it, I want to say that card pull that you said, that was a reading for me. So that
Oh.
was a really good reminder. I was like, whoa, okay, hey, you know what? Let me consider that.
That's
It
awesome.
was in that deck that you used, that Archangel Michael deck was actually one of the very first decks that I purchased.
Really?
Yeah, when I started on this path back, I got that deck like 9 years ago.
Wow. You know, that's
Like,
interesting you say that, because that was my first deck that I ever bought too. It's the very first one.
Interesting.
Archangel Michael, that was around the time when I first got into Reiki as well.
Me too. That's funny. Because I was, 2011 is when I got into Reiki. And I think around that time is when I, started getting into that. And that was the deck that popped out to me. That's cool.
So go ahead.
Go ahead.
Now I was going to say hello to people. Some people are honoring. We have Tiffany Cook who joined us. She says, hi, friends. She wants to say, hey, Darius, welcome to the show, you guys.
It's always good to see Tiffany on. Always good to see Tiffany.
So we're gonna get into it for today's show. And so today we're gonna kind of hone in what we've been talking about over the last few episodes. We've talked about our life path. We've talked about our personal years. We've talked about our personal days and what that all represents. And for those who are watching, and especially if you're watching live, is if you want to participate today and you would like to have your own personal reading, type the word yes here into the comment feed, and we'll make sure we go in order of people who want to do this. And Tiffany says, oh, shucks, guys, I feel so loved. So she's blushing right now.
All awesome. Good. I accomplished my goal today.
That's cool.
So before we get into everything, as we have people coming in, so we'd like to know a little bit more about us. So maybe we'll start it off. And one thing that we were going to talk about was our soul numbers and what that represents. We're not going to go deep into that today, of how we do that and how we calculate that. But we were just curious. And one thing that we realized was, okay, we know we can find what our soul is. What does that soul number represent?
The soul represents the inner drive. It is what everything that we have been told the soul is, but more.
Okay.
So we, think of some of the things that we've been taught that the soul is. It's the immaterial part of us that, exists and survives death. It's the part of us that is here before we incarnate on this physical plane. It's the thing that moves us and drives us and makes us want to do things and motivates us to choose one option over another. It's the part that when we meet somebody that we feel a really strong connection to, what we call a soulmate. It's that thing with, then that whole soulmate word takes on new meaning. It's that feeling of connection that we experience when something links with that energy or something resonates. And so the way it works in numerology, it's everything is vibration and frequency. So that being the case, I'm sure you guys have experienced singing bowls. You probably have some.
Yeah.
When you have two singing bowls of a matching note, they'll vibrate and resonate together and they'll become one tune. Much easier than two others, which will harmonize. See, two souls that are similar will harmonize. There will be the differences and there will be the similarities and things, and they'll be able to create beautiful music together. When you have two of a vibrating matching soul, it's hard to distinguish from what side of the room the music is coming from, because it's singing the same tune. So that's what we call the soul number. You can experience that when it relates to people that you encounter time periods in your life, animals you come across, houses that you live in, everything that is under the sun that has a name or a birth date, a time of creation, resonates can resonate with someone at a soul level, whether they're alive or not. And the soul number itself, as it relates to numerology, is that which we are when we're not in this physical human mechanism.
Okay.
When we're not in this physical human apparatus that we use while we're on this earth plane.
Got it. So here's an example. It was interesting because we did the calculation on this. And if I did my calculation right, we're always going to base it that we did it right in our math. My soul number came out to the number 4, and so did Veronica's.
Oh man, I bet that was an awesome discovery. So when you realize that, what came to your mind? How did you just what started clicking? Like, wow, oh my God, like how was
I knew there's something. We didn't go back and read it all because we just calculated it just before we started live here. So wanted to get your take on what that meant. So I know that you're talking about, it's about connection, this soul, and it made a lot of sense of how we resonate very well with each other. It's like, and it's kind of like that singing bowl, that soulmate. That's kind of what it represented, at least for me, when you were mentioning that.
But when you just said that, it like the word twin flame kind of popped in my mind.
Interesting. Yeah, so when you have that experience, first off, you don't always need the numbers to tell you, because you can always feel it first.
Yeah.
You can always experience it first. And it's just what happens is the numbers will confirm it. They'll say, oh, okay, that's why we felt that. That's why I experienced that.
It all makes sense now.
Right. You have those type of moments. And when you have that, what we call that is something, it's called soul release. It's a form of soul release. There's greater levels of it, but that's a form. That's it means that you're able to have that connection. But the number 4 itself, when it comes to soul numbers and numbers in general and the categories in general, whatever the category is, we apply the meaning of the number to it. So is it 4? 4 is all about structure, stability, order, organization. It's about planning. It's a very material number. It's a very form of earth, of matter, of being here on this earth plane. And not even just, we're here on the earth plane, but imagine if you were in some other galaxy or something like that, and you were vibrating with that energy, you would still be vibrating with that 4. So 4 does relate to the material sense, but if you're vibrating with that energy in the spiritual sense, then it would be along the lines of organization.
Okay.
And it would be along the lines of planning, hierarchy, anything that deals with order, an order or a system of, there's the order of angels, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's the hierarchy of angels. There's the seraphim. Then there's a cherubim. Then that's a structure. That's a 4.
Okay.
So it deals with many different levels like that.
So for those who want to have your own personal reading today, Darius, what would they need to provide here in the comments for you to get to start working with them?
So since we're talking about soul number, yeah, all they want to do, if they want to just post up their name, then I'll be able to tell them what their soul number is.
So their full name, full birth name, right?
Right.
So that's first, middle, and last, if you have a middle name.
And then also if they want me to look at their birth life path, just post their birthday. If they want me to tell them what if they've been following along with us in the past few weeks, if they want to know what their personal year is, or their personal month, their personal day is, they can drop their birthday information and just say, "Tell me about my blank."
Okay, so let's start this off. So we have Tiffany's here. So her full birth name is Tiffany Jill Smiley. So I know we've been doing numbers here over the last few times. You guys are going to have to work fast on your math here. I'm going to have to fill in the top while you do your numbers here.
So the only thing I need to know is if Tiffany wants me to read the soul number or
she said do Patty first. So
okay.
We'll do Patty because I know Tiffany's been on here for a while. So for Patty, Patty is Patty Mays. So just to recap, Patty is that your full name? Is there a middle name in there?
Patricia Mays.
Patricia Mays. Is there a middle name? And is that your maiden name? That's what we want to know, because it's going to be your birth maiden name. And so we'll type that here into the feed, and we'll do that. And as she's giving us that information, here is her birth date.
Okay, so with that birthday, do you want me to tell you, Patty, what your personal year, day, or month is, or what would you like to know in this particular brief session?
So she says no middle name. That's her birth name. So, okay, so that's her full name. So that is her full name right there.
Okay, so since we're talking about soul numbers, I'm going to assume that she wants to know what her soul number would be.
Got it.
So let's see. Patricia Mays. So I'll just look at that and kind of just do it.
Got it.
Got a 1, 9, 10. That A is 1, that I is 9, that I, so that's a 10, 19, 20. So the first name that you have, your soul is a 2. Okay, so that means as a 2 soul, you want to be supportive of others. Relationships are very big for you. Dealing and interacting with people on a one-on-one basis and playing that supportive, the role of the supportive counselor. You like to hold space for other people when they're experiencing things, when they're going through situations. Then your full name, you got that 9, 18, 20, 20, 9, 18, 19, 20, 21, plus 5 is 26. So you're complete. So when I do up the whole name, for your full name, Patty, it comes out to 8 as a soul. So if you were to, so as the 8th soul, 8 loves success. It's the Aaron smiling because he knows. 8 loves success, that it resonates with success. It resonates with, striving and being very ambitious. 8 is a number of connection and disconnection. It's a very socially interactive number. So whereas the first name, the soul in your first name has you wanting to be and deal with people in a compassionate way, the full picture of your soul, see, there's different parts of it. The full picture of your soul wants to go and experience, and you want to strive for success. Now, here's another thing. When you go by Patty, it's going to have a slightly different vibration, right?
Mm-hmm.
With Patty, see, here's where it gets interesting. So Patty has a soul of 1. Which is in direct opposite to your natural, like they're both you, okay? But Patty, if you go by Patty, then this is going to show how you interact with people that call you Patty, and the type of interaction, the part of your soul that you manifest when you're in their presence, and that energy that you step into when people call you and think of you as Patty. So that gives an element of you where it's also 1, which this is the individual. This is someone that's saying, how can I win at this too? How can I win also? How can this be good for me? What's in it for me? One is about self. Two is about others. So one part of yourself is two, and then one part of yourself, one part of yourself is ruled by others and supporting others. The other is ruled by independence and wanting to achieve, which is supported by that part of you that's 8, which really strives for the success. And as long as you are vibrating with that energy, there's going to be that mix of energies that are present. So that's what I have for Patty at the moment.
So she, from all the comments, she says, yes, experience always success and fulfillment. So a lot of this is resonating with her. And that's what we always find fascinating with numerology. And we figure out different numbers when it comes to different things in our life, is they are almost pretty spot on, from at least from my experience with it. And it's like when you start to talk about what our numbers mean to each individual, it's like our heads start to nod. Yeah, that's me. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like, wow. And because it's fascinating how that works. And she says, yes, ambition, connection, disconnection, yes. And she says, yes, experience always success and fulfillment. And then she says, soul of one, direct opposite of natural order. And so it's interesting. So what you're saying is, if she was to use either the full name, which is Patricia, or Patty, they can have two different energies to them.
Yes.
But
yes,
also, if she combines Patty Mays together, it creates a 7, right?
See, now you're thinking like a numerologist, right?
And that's more
because that is the spiritual aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
You see, when you take the Patty and Mays, now you see why there's an interest in this realm in the first place. Why she's even on this channel.
Yeah.
Is because she wants to know the truth. That's what 7 is, a truth seeker. Spirituality, scientists. They want to know these things, but they want to experience it either spiritually in depth, as the 7 is in depth inside, within. And find out why. That's the scientist. It's like, why this, why that? Approaching spirituality in a scientific manner means asking questions and experimenting with it.
Yeah.
When Aaron, when you said, that numerology resonates, at least from my own personal experience, that is the key. It's from each one's experience that numerology and any of these sciences makes sense.
Yeah. So I hope that helps Patty. She says, yes, Veronica, right on. Because Veronica's life path is a 7, so she understands what that's like. She says, so true. Absolutely, absolutely. And so let's go back. And again, what we're doing live readings here for you guys, numerology, with our expert numerologist, Darius Oliver. If you guys would like to have your own personal reading as well, all you need to do is give us your full birth name. We're talking about soul numbers right now, but it can also be anything you want. If you want to know what your life path is. So again, we need their full birth name, Darius.
So we have Tiffany's, and if I did the numbers correct, I got 2.
Okay, so we're going back up here to Tiffany Jill Smiley, who'll be next in line.
So Tiffany Jill Smiley. So that'll be a 1, a 7, and then, so her first name has a soul of 7. So definitely that makes sense. Anytime someone has a 7, anything that deals with the 7 energy of the depth. So for you, Tiffany, it means that you are just like we always have known you to be, in that you sincerely want to know what's out there, what's really true. You're a seeker as opposed to a believer. And there's a big difference. A believer versus a seeker. A believer will just believe and stay somewhere and just believe it. But a seeker will seek, and then when the seeker finds something higher, they'll go for that. They'll go after that and seek to understand it. That's what 7 does. It's the seeker. It wants to know the truth. And there's more than one. There's many different shades, and different shades of truth. But you're seeking after those things. If I got that accurate on that one right there. Your first name comes out to an 8.
Actually, it has an I. So would that be 9, 1, and 7?
So yes, that would be 9, 1, and 7. So the first name comes out to the that first name comes out to an 8.
Yeah.
Her first name ends with a Y.
Yeah.
Y is always a vowel.
And so that's what he's doing. He's looking at the vowels in your name and doing the numbers on that. So that's how he's calculating these numbers right now for the soul.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's so many different ways.
Exactly, right? And so while Tiffany's first name has that 8 energy, it's as far as the soul essence of that. You're a person that when you're dealing with people on a interactive level, like one-on-one basis, it's you're going to be striving for success. You're going to be trying to make connection with people, intimate connection, and just very outgoing as a personality type. And like, hey, that's what 8 does. Because if you think about it, 8 is like that loop, the infinite. It likes to be in the loop. It likes to be in the know. It likes to be within the social unit, social circle, but always striving for success. Similar to Patty. Similar also resonating with Aaron. Anyone that vibrates with the 8. But now also at the same time, when we take the full name, we have that 9, 10 plus the 7 is 17. That's 8. Then 9 again, that's 26, 35, 47. So the full soul in your name comes out to the number 2 when we simplify that. But not just that, it's also a master soul, my friend. That's pretty cool, isn't it? And then let's see. Aren't you born on also well, I think I'm going too deep into Tiffany's right now. Maybe I should cool it a little bit. Yeah, we're going to kind of going deep because I remember, and I'll just leave it at this. She's got that 44, that 444 birthday. So, hey, that's pretty cool. Numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie, my friend.
Okay. So she says, didn't I have a master birthday number 4484 as well?
There's actually 3 4s in there.
You forgot the 1 and the 9,
Yep.
but yeah.
Well, even if you take not even just the 4484, but even if you take that 1984.
It's 22.
Exactly. So you got that 4422 combination. So however way you slice it, now you also got a hidden master number in your name too. And I won't talk about that right now because it's not the soul, but you do have one. And if you want to know about that one, let's talk about, come to me, at a good time, and see if you want to go into deeper things with that.
Yeah, but you guys can always do that here with Darius. If you want to go deeper with your own numbers in a personal setting, he can definitely do that for you. You can reach out to him. Let's go to someone. If he's still on, we have Edgar who says, I'm in. And so,
excellent.
So I just want to make sure that's, if you're still watching Edgar, that is your full birth name. So we're going to go just with that. And if that's correct, just say correct here into the feed and we'll go with that. So we'll go with him. So do your numbers.
Also,
He's doing his numbers.
No, I say you can go ahead and do his numbers. We'll do his next if he's still watching.
okay,
Okay,
here's
did he?
full name.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So it's just like it's spelled.
So Edgar Sort de San. So assuming that's that is it. That's let's see, 5, 6, 12, 17, 18. Soul number 9.
Mm,
So you have a 9 soul.
I think that's what that is.
So you've been here many times. Honestly, who hasn't, right? But so been here many times. What does that mean? Yes, we've all been here many times, but our souls are different ages. And our souls have different levels of experience. You know, there's souls that can be much younger but have more experience. And there's souls that can be much older but have little experience.
Mm.
This is a soul that, regardless of age, has much experience. And as such, would for that 9, you want to do something that embraces all of humanity, humankind, the big picture, looking at everything. Yours is, you have love, but your love is universal, as opposed to personal. It's not that you don't love people personally, but it's more so that you love everyone, and you're not partial necessarily with that. But now your first name has a 6 soul, which is specifically known as personal love. So while your full name, your whole name, is giving itself toward loving all of humanity and the great big cause behind all things, and wanted to express that to everybody, it's balanced right next to you wanting to show nurturing and nourishment to those around you, and wanting to be that nurturer, that whether that takes the form of counseling others, but a healer, someone that's very duty oriented, someone that is that would have a strong sense of devotion. And 9 really lends itself towards loyalty. 9 is a number of wisdom and integrity, right? Why integrity is because 9 wants all the pieces to match. 9 is about the big picture. So if you have a puzzle and some pieces are missing, that's a problem. You know, that's 9 wants all the puzzle pieces to match and be in the same color. And if someone is about something, then they need to represent what they are about and be true to that and own it. That's what 9 believes. 6 wants to help that person become integrated. So you may attract people to you that are broken, or what are considered broken, having wounds that need healing and fixing. And it also means that you would definitely be someone that loves family-oriented individual. Because of the 6, that's what it's about. It's about duty and family.
Got it. So if this resonates with you at all, Edgar, let us know here into the feed, because it's very fascinating.
Yeah, that's interesting, because my daughter is also a 9. I've read her numbers, and yeah, she's a 9. And you know what's even more interesting? My nickname that my whole family still calls me, it totals up to a 9.
Interesting.
Excellent. Wow.
Edgar said, wow, 100% accurate.
That's so cool.
Good feedback. Thank you, Edgar. I appreciate that. And if you guys want, I'm going to actually be teaching numerology officially very soon. So I'm getting ready for that, for those of you that are interested in learning, as well as wanting some deeper readings if you guys want to go more in depth. You guys can contact me through my Facebook page, and you can also contact me at my phone number as well, 209-898-4103. That's 209-898-4103. Feel free to send me a text with your birth information in. If you guys want to get a hold of me, let me know what you want to go into, and we'll talk about a time for us to get together.
Yeah.
And we'll be working together.
So there's his number right there on the screen. Make sure I type that in right. And then if you guys are doing numerology, add up all the numbers and figure out what that number means for Darius.
Yeah, I figured out to give me a reading.
All right, so let's go to the next one. I'm going to scroll back up here in some of the comments. And there was one from Patty. She wanted to know her husband's full name. Here it is. So we have her husband is Thomas Andrew McGoldrick.
Excellent. So let's see, Thomas Andrew McGoldrick. So that is 6, 7, 8, 13, 4. That's a 10, 19. Ooh, 1. So that looks like he has a soul 1. Let me just double check. 6, 7, 8. 5 is 13. Yep, that's a excuse me. Did I say 8?
1, I thought.
You said 1 earlier.
Okay, 1. Perfect. That's what it is. So okay, I said 8 because I was adding something up. All right, so numbers, right? So soul number 1. So this is very much someone that values independence, strong, independent. Really, that's what they must have, be, and do. This is someone that really cares about what's really important is his particular advancement in life. So anytime he's if he's in a business deal or if he's in some type of situation, the question that he's going to be figuring out in his mind is, what's in it for me? What's in it for me? How am I going to win in this situation? Sure, let's have everybody do well, but how am I going to win? What's my return on interest? If he's going to be focused on the end goal first off, because 1 is immediate. 1 is like, hey, let's do this quick, but also I need to make sure that I'm getting the right thing out of this, that I'm not, misusing my time. First name has a 7 soul. Excuse me. No, let's see. Yep, it does have a 7 soul. So this is so Thomas also would naturally be inclined toward things of a spiritual nature, whether that, now let's put it this way, things of an introspective nature. So it's very introspective and very curious by nature, whether that's in the form of science, logic, or in the form of spirituality. Because 7 is a number associated with the greatest scientists that even are atheists. So it doesn't matter, it doesn't necessarily matter where or what the person's vocation is. What's going to be resonating is that vibration in whatever format. I think you guys froze for a little bit.
Oh, are we back?
All right, cool. We're back.
We got kicked off somehow. We didn't know what even happened.
I didn't know what happened, man. I was talking, and then like You guys are like, Aaron was smiling and Veronica was like, and I was like, whoa, what did I say? I'm like, man, I must have said something like interesting.
We're talking numbers. I think the internet just got confused and said, let's take a break for a second.
Cool. Mercury retrograde. Yay.
It's fascinating because we haven't had that issue in a very long time.
Yeah.
So we're back though. We're still live. We didn't get kicked off. We're grateful. So we're talking about Thomas. At least the last that we left off with, you were talking about.
She said they're still with us.
That's where we left off at.
Excellent.
Yay, we're back. Everybody's back on.
So Patty, how are we doing on Thomas so far?
He says Soul One sounds right.
All right, cool.
All those down there too.
Yeah. Okay. So she said we're still with you. I think Tiffany said when we kicked out, she said, "Well, it's your show now, Darius."
Oh yeah. Last one standing. Oh yeah, she loves Mercury retrograde. So
yes,
Thomas does that. So Thomas? So that you're saying that he does the one with the 7 or the 1, or he does the Mercury retrograde? I'm joking.
Oh, here it is.
Just the way it was. Okay. So it blows up with vibration. All right. So, so what I was saying is when it got cut off, I was saying that. Okay, cool. All right. Yep. Science and logic. So Thomas, he's the type of guy. If you want to come to him, you need to have evidence to back up anything you say. You guys know. You guys sound like you know him personally. But yeah, you gotta have your stuff. To that's the 7. It's like, hey, look, you have your belief and idea, show me. And it's not out of arrogance. Can be out of arrogance sometimes, depending on other numbers there. But it's more so, hey, look, if you can show me and back that up, then I'll probably believe it so much that you'll forget you told me about it, and I'll tell you stuff that you didn't know, because I'm gonna go deeper and find out the true meaning of it. So oh, Patty, so hey, look, if anybody that's on your watch party wants it, just go ahead and drop in their birthday or their full name, and let me know if they want they want to know what their personal year is, their life path is. And I'll do like a 2 to 3 little minute reading for them to go into it. Okay.
Yeah. So with the time that we have, because we have a few moments here, so we can't see any comments on the watch party. So Patty, you're gonna have to be the liaison and type those here into our comments so we can pop those up for people. And Patty she's cracking up right now because nice. She says it's so true. He's a researcher.
Yep.
And she says never arrogance, and you are right on. And she says thank you.
You're very welcome, and I appreciate that feedback.
So let's go one. Tiffany's curious as we have more feeds coming in, because we're going to go what we see firsthand.
So Tiffany says, I'm curious about Kinsley Cat Cook. If we have time, she is giving me a run for my money.
That's her daughter.
That's cute. Okay,
Kinsley Cat Cook.
That is a
tongue twister.
Kit Kat. I wonder if they call her Kit Kat. That'd be a cute name. Let's see. Where did I put that? Okay, I don't need it. It's my pen. All right, so Kinsley Cat Cook. So let's check that out. 9, 5, and then 7. We got a 3. So first name has a 3 soul, which resonates with your life path. So that's always good. Let's 5 plus 7, 9. That's 12, 13. Oh wow, interesting.
Also 3.
4 plus the 3. Yep. No, excuse. Her soul is a 7.
A 7.
She's a 7.
Mm-hmm. So she's someone that'll probably, let's see. Let's just double check. Yep, that's a 7. So 7 as a soul. Now, thing about me is I also have a 7 soul. And I have, well, my natural soul is a 6. My natural soul is a 6. The other kind of soul, see, we have 2 different kinds. All right?
I didn't know that.
We have, yes. You will know that soon. But
I've read some of it, but go ahead.
we have two different parts of that. We have the part that exists before we're incarnated in physical form.
Mm.
Then we have the soul that exists once we have incarnated in physical form on this planet. And then, right, that's an interesting concept, huh? Then that explains what we're driven toward when we're here. So Kit Kat, well, she has all kind of names. So that's 7.
She has a lot of souls.
Yeah, she's exactly a lot of lifetimes on the planet. You know, see that time she was in Kit Kat mode. So she's giving you a run for your money. Which one is it?
What's the name that they gave her?
All right, so Kinsley Cat Cook, 7. So just like Thomas, or just like anyone that has that 7 soul, they're going to be, as she gets older, you're going to find that she wants to study and research and just be curious. It may or may not be in, you know, the format that a person expects. What I mean by format that a person expects, 7 does really. It's also an academic number. It's an academic number. It can excel in academics when, you know, because of the curious nature, because of the studious nature, because of the mind. It wants to develop the mind. It wants to know the truth. That can be good, but in the system of schooling that we have, that can be challenging. Because when can you really go that deep? What happens a lot is people with 7 souls want to go so deep and want to know the meat and the bones of everything that they go into, that if in school it may seem like they take a long time to really grasp things because their minds are brilliant, but 7 is depth. And a lot of times in school, you just have time to go over the surface.
Mm.
And for a 7 to truly, really, really, really know, since they're here to teach, they must know. They must get to the very bottom of things so that they can teach it from the foundation. So if that's not given to them when they're in the learning process, then they have trouble following along because they're not so much on the surface, unless they have numbers that support that, you know, being able to be in the surface. So Patty says academic number, studious nature. Yep, challenging in school. And in a case in point, Albert Einstein. He had what is called a 7 void.
You mean this guy right here?
Yeah, that guy right there. He had a 7 void. That guy right there. Is that the one with his tongue sticking out, or is that
no? That's not.
Okay, I was like, hey, that's a cool picture. But so Albert Einstein, he had what's called a 7 void. So that means that it became even more challenging for him because he came into this planet lacking the energy that he needed to make it. But as what happens sometimes with voids, he became famous for the very thing that he came into the planet lacking. You see, it started out as a void, right? So that tells us that voids are not bad. For those of you who are wondering, whoa, what's a void? What's my void? And if you want to know that too, you know, post your full name and I can share that with you. But a void is a missing energy in our name that when we have that void, it acts as a challenge for us in our life. It acts as a focal point in our life for us to go down that path to develop that particular energy. That's what voids do. And that's why they create that challenge. But that's why if you look at Albert Einstein, we know him today as one of the greatest minds of science.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But if you would have hung out with him back when he was 13 and you know, probably younger, 15, you would have been shocked because you would have seen, how can they kick this guy out of school?
Mm.
How can they, you know, send him home with a letter, you know, saying that he's not intelligent enough to be at our school? You know, don't even send him anymore. How could this guy eventually be on the cover of a book talking about science? If you were his teacher back then, you probably say, I wouldn't buy that book.
That's
I
funny.
wouldn't buy that book. But now, you see, now that he's gone through many cycles of that energy, and he's been able to really develop that, now we know. Not just that, but he's also has numbers in his chart that relate to him leaving legacy.
Mm.
There's also legacy numbers too. What numbers are supportive of legacy? You see.
So I wanted to say hello. Robert Brooker has joined us. He says, hi, y'all. Look what crawled out from the bookshelf of life. Me. Grateful to pop in here and say howdy. Thank you.
Hey, Robert. Thank you for joining us.
He says, I'm speaking the future into being, and one day that will be my book on your shelf.
Awesome.
Let's make that happen, Robert.
Yeah.
Yes. So definitely speaking the future into being, and this is a great time to do that because we're currently shifting realities. If people haven't noticed,
Okay.
we're going from one plane to another. So that's good.
So then let's do one more. Since we have Robert on, he's given us his full name. So let's do his next. And if we have extra time, we will. But we have a little time left over. So here's Robert's full name, Robert Arthur Brooker.
Excellent. So Robert Arthur Brooker. Interesting. Is this the last person we're going to do for today?
I believe so.
It's usually the last person that it just got this profound.
It just had to be Robert.
Like, not even joking, serious. Like, just all right, cool. So let's see, 6, 11. First off, you got a master in your first name, a master soul 11.
Okay.
So that is probably why you have such that desire to do that, to, you know, be having your book on that, because there's the 11. 11 is the inspirer. It's the master achiever, the master aspirant. It wants to go out there and do that. That's what 11 does. A lot of I don't know what your wanting is. You know, I haven't spoke to you. If you want to go deeper, we can. But what we find is a lot of motivational speakers associated with the number 11, like Tony Robbins. He's born on the 29th. 2 + 9 is 11. You know, people that are pretty good orators that use this that ability to inspire. That's what 11 does. It's a light. You got that 1 and 1. That's 2 suns. It's like lighting things up. And so, but also in that first name, we have the 2 soul. So it's someone that there's like a balance there. There's a balance, but there's also a contradiction. Wherever there's balance, there's contradiction. Because there's 2 opposite sides being blended together. So there's a part of you that wants to be very supportive and not so much be out in the limelight, as far as, you know, wanting to be there and be there for people. But then there's also that part of you that says, hey, world, look at me. 11 is like, hey, you can do it. I can do it. We all can do it. That's what 11 wants. And it truly believes. So we have 5 and then the 6, 11, 12, 6, 5 soul. So ultimately, your full name has a 5 soul, which is why you really trust and value freedom. You want freedom. You want movement. You want travel. You want things. You want quick, very impulsive, doesn't like routine. But also, let's see, that's a 2, 5, 10, 2 plus the 3 is 5, 10. So also a soul, there's also a component there of 1, which is, again, you wanting to make sure, hey, what's in it? What's in it for me? What am I getting out of this as a professional level? 1, what is it? What it wants to be number 1. It really it wants to achieve, just similar in nature to the 1. I mean, excuse me, to the 8, but 1 is more of a lonesome number. It will achieve independently, whereas the 8 will achieve through networking.
Which is interesting, because if I calculated his life path number correctly, I believe he falls into the 8. So it's the 14th of September, and he is in, so I'll let you do the math on that, 1967. So double check my math. I believe he's a life path 8.
So that's 23. His year equals 23, and then what's his birthday again? 14th of September. So 5, 10. Life path 1. Let's just double check.
Did I get it wrong?
6. Maybe there was an invisible number you counted.
Maybe. I like invisible numbers.
I count them all the time, man. That happens to me.
That's why I let the numerologist do the math here on the show.
Hey, happens to me. Happens to the best of us. That's why I use a calculator. 14. That's 5, 9. Then your year 67. That's another 5. So we got a life path 1, which resonates with your soul. Which I bet if we look deeper, because you mentioned about your curiosity. We mentioned your curiosity, and how, if we look deeper, we'll find the root of that, right? But your soul resonates with your life path. So your life path will naturally bring you in alignment with your soul. You see what happens when your numbers match other components of your chart. This gentleman's soul matches, Robert's soul matches his life path. So that means that as he's on his life path, it will introduce him to those uncomfortable situations that force him to be that leader, force him into leadership. And Patty, she can relate to the calculators, because hey, it's the truth. So
you can't go wrong with the calculator.
No, you can't. Literally, you can't unless you had the wrong number in.
Yeah.
But so what that means is your life path will naturally bring you in alignment with those things, and that your soul will naturally be calling toward the things of your life path for you to do. So as they say, follow your soul, right? Follow your soul.
That's a great segue as we are wrapping up our show here for today. And Femi says dyslexia.
That's right. That's
do it right.
The way that just came up, like, hey, so we're wrapping it up. This show is brought to you by dyslexia.
Dyslexia. Numerology. Dyslexia.
Hey, maybe that's why I got into it, because of trying to read the words right. I was like, man, I don't want to deal with words. I want to deal with numbers. But
and so Robert says, wonderful things are happening, and admitting to that I am here to be a leader. That was the scariest thing I ever did. Patty's laughing
No,
just as well.
because she said that was her superpower, like putting up dyslexia.
Just the right moment at the right time.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
And hey guys, if you guys want to go deeper, you always can contact me, send me a text. My number is 209-898-4103. If you want to go deeper into your numbers and see what other connecting factors are in your life and in your reality, send me a text with your question. Ask me. We'll see what we can do, and we can be working together.
It's just because you are the bestest. And so thank you all for being here. And she wants to know, can we go for a second hour? You guys make me happy.
Awesome. Thank you. Glad to hear that. We've accomplished our job today.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so, but we are here. We are here every Thursdays at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern. If you guys would like to join us and get reminded each time we go live here on Divine Numerology, if you're watching on Facebook, make sure you click on the and turn on the notification icons here so you get reminded. If you are watching on YouTube, you can subscribe to the channel and turn on the little bell icon so you always get reminded when we have a new video posted. And that's how you guys can follow us here. And so thank you, everybody. We got comments coming in. Robert says, I felt so bad when my comments meant to uplift that the person I was trying to uplift had dyslexia. I felt so bad.
Just tell them that this show was brought to them by dyslexia.
By dyslexia.
Right. Well, that'll be our new sponsor. So,
then show Einstein right there. Like, hey, look.
So thank you guys for being here again. You've been joining us. We are your hosts. I'm Dr. Eric Garcia.
And I'm Veronica Mendez Garcia. And we're with our co-host, Darius
Oliver.
So again, this is Divine Numerology. Make sure you guys join us the next time. If you know anybody who would be interested and you want to know, what your readings are, anybody who might want to know what their path is, have them join us here on the show next time that they can put their names in. We'll do another reading for you guys, and we enjoy doing this for you.
Yeah, it's always fun. So Patty missed her meeting just to be here with us.
Thank you for your noble sacrifice. It is greatly appreciated.
All right, guys. Then we will see you next week. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Peace.